I slammed the door shut just as the sirens blared outside. My heart was hammering so fast I thought it might burst. I could hear shouting, my sister-in-law's voice, sharp and accusing, carried all the way through the walls. "I'm calling the police. I don't care if it's family." I froze. The words felt like ice in my chest. In trouble with the police? Over what? A babysitting disagreement? I couldn't believe it. My hands were trembling as I clutched the doorknob. For a moment, all I wanted was to disappear. I had always been the responsible one. The one family leaned on. Babysitting wasn't a burden, it was something I did willingly. But this was manipulation on a whole new level. And now, apparently, it was being weaponized against me. It all started innocently enough. I've always had a soft spot for my sister-in-law. Her kids were sweet, energetic, and adorable in that chaotic way that makes you love them instantly. I babysat because I wanted to help, not because anyone asked. And I did it without expecting a single thing in return, until it all blew up in my face. The first red flag came months ago. She'd called me last minute, panicked about errands, and I agreed to take the kids for a few hours. That day, I stayed longer than planned because the kids were cranky, the weather was terrible, and I didn't want her to feel overwhelmed. I thought it was what family did. I thought it was normal. But the very next week, she called my number at 2 a.m. "You promised. You said you'd be here," she yelled. My sleep-deprived brain was foggy, but I remembered clearly that no promise had been made. I tried to explain, but she didn't listen. Instead, she muttered something about me being irresponsible and hung up. And then came the police. She claimed that I had endangered the children's safety. I was shocked, confused, and terrified all at once. Officers arrived at my door while I was still in my pajamas. My neighbors were peeking, my heart was in my throat, and I had no idea how a simple babysitting favor had turned into a potential legal nightmare. I remember standing there, frozen, as the officer asked me questions. "Do you live here alone? Are you responsible for the children?" My voice shook, and I couldn't make sense of what was happening. How had someone I considered family turned me into a criminal in a matter of seconds? That night, after the officers left, I sat on the couch, trembling and exhausted. I realized something crucial. My kindness had been weaponized. And if I didn't act now, it wouldn't just be my peace of mind at stake, it would be my dignity. But little did I know, the nightmare was far from over. A week later, she was at my door, smiling like nothing had happened. I should have been cautious. I should have remembered the police, the humiliation, the stress. But my instinct was to give her the benefit of the doubt. "I really need you to watch the kids tomorrow," she said sweetly, her tone syrupy, like honey over poison. "I have an emergency." I stiffened. My heart started pounding again. Emergency? After what you did? I could feel my palms getting sweaty. "I don't think that's a good idea," I said, trying to keep my voice calm. "After everything that happened." Her smile faltered for just a moment before she leaned in closer, her eyes narrowing subtly. "Come on. You know how stressed I am. You've always helped before. It's just for a few hours. Please." "Please?" My jaw tightened. That word, that tone, it was all manipulation. I knew it. She was trying to guilt me, trying to make me feel responsible. And worse, it was working. For a moment, I felt that familiar pull, the one that had made me babysit late nights, rearrange my plans, sacrifice my time. "I really can't," I said firmly, trying to sound stronger than I felt. But inside, my mind was racing. I remembered the fear of that police visit. I remembered the humiliation in front of neighbors. I remembered the shaking in my hands, the dread that had taken over my life for days. She tilted her head, pretending to pout. "Are you really going to make this a big deal? You know I can't do it alone. Your family. You can't just abandon me." The words cut deep. Family. That one word had always been my weakness. I wanted to help. I wanted to believe in her. I wanted to trust her again. But I couldn't ignore the truth. She was taking advantage of me. She wasn't asking, she was expecting. She wasn't grateful, she was entitled. I took a deep breath, trying to steady the storm inside me. "No," I said quietly at first, Then louder, more certain. I'm not doing it. Not anymore. I can't keep letting you manipulate me. You've used me and I'm done. For a moment, she froze. Her face twisted into a mask of disbelief. You're serious? Yes. I'm serious. I'm not babysitting your kids. Not after everything you did. Not after calling the police on me over nothing. Her eyes flashed and I could see the anger rising, but I refused to look away. I refused to let her intimidate me. This time I was standing my ground. I had learned my lesson the hard way. Kindness wasn't weakness, but being exploited was unacceptable. And in that moment, I realized something important. I was done being everyone's doormat. Family or not, no one had the right to weaponize the law, manipulate my emotions, and guilt me into sacrificing my life for them. I could feel my chest rising with a strange mix of fear and empowerment. This confrontation wasn't just about babysitting. It was about taking back control. About drawing the line. About finally saying enough. Her face twisted with disbelief, then anger, like I had just insulted her very existence. You think you can just say no? After everything? You owe me this. I shook my head, holding my ground. No. I don't owe you anything. Not my time, not my safety, not my sanity. You turned the police against me once. I will not let you manipulate me again. She stepped closer, her voice sharp, trembling with frustration. Family is supposed to help each other. You can't just refuse. I stared her down. Family doesn't manipulate and threaten. Family doesn't weaponize the law against you. And family doesn't expect me to be their doormat. I've helped you countless times, and this is the line. I'm done. For a moment, silence hung in the room. The kids were nearby, unaware of the storm, playing quietly, but their presence reminded me of why I had stayed patient and kind for so long. But patience had limits, and mine had run out. She opened her mouth, probably to yell, to guilt trip, to twist everything, but I cut her off. No more. You've crossed the line. I will not let you use me anymore. Not now, not ever. Her shoulders slumped, and I could see the fight drain from her eyes. She realized this time, I wasn't going to back down. She could throw tantrums, plead, manipulate, but I had finally learned that my worth and my boundaries mattered more than anyone else's demands. I felt a strange mix of relief and empowerment wash over me. For the first time in months, maybe even years, I felt in control. I wasn't scared anymore. I wasn't apologizing for standing up for myself. I wasn't letting fear dictate my life. And in that moment, I understood a vital lesson. Kindness and generosity are strengths, but being exploited is not. Standing up for yourself is not selfish, it's necessary. And sometimes, saying no is the bravest thing you can do. I turned away, leaving the room quietly. I could hear her muttering behind me, probably spinning the story in her head, but it didn't matter. This wasn't about her anymore. This was about me, my boundaries, and reclaiming my peace. As I walked away, I thought about how many times I had allowed people, family or otherwise, to take advantage of my good nature. How many times I had felt guilty for saying no. How many times I had put others' comfort above my own well-being. Not anymore. Sometimes, the hardest battles are with the people closest to you. But the victory isn't just in being right, it's in reclaiming yourself. And I finally had that victory. So to anyone watching, remember this. Generosity is powerful, but boundaries are sacred. Protect your time, protect your energy, and don't let anyone weaponize